What's up, fellas? I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks
How's practice today?
It was good. The fellas out there flying around. Obviously, as Coach said, we played our behinds off against Texas, so legs was a little heavy, but it's always a blessing when Coach takes periods off practice, and we got to maximize that. Not repeating stuff and perfect execution.
What's the mental attitude of the team coming off that loss?
Never satisfied. Everyone wants to pat you on the back for playing a tough team, and that's not what we're about. We have a certain standards that we hold ourselves to and a certain brand that we play with. And so, whether that embodies a win or a loss, we hold ourselves to that brand.
What was it like for you guys going through this stretch of three very tough teams with Houston, Army, and Texas to open the season?
It was challenging. It really brought the team together, I feel like. It put us to our test, and I was excited to go through it.
What's the mental part of that like? Is there a sense of kind of wearing down, or is it just encouraging to be on the other side of that?
It's just knowing that, they're tough teams. And with that, you have to play a little different. You have to clean things up. You have to play tighter. And so the mental aspect of that being that you got to lock in. And so I think that'll help us through the duration of the rest of our season.
What's been your reaction to just the sheer amount of injuries you guys have gone through, especially on the offensive line?
Don't blink. Whoever, this next man up mentality. We went through the same process last year with a few guys. And so just knowing that your time could come, your rep could come at any moment. That's how I ended up starting. I ended up getting thrown into the fire. And that's what I keep telling the younger guys, always be ready for your moment.
For the offensive line specifically, is it hard when one guy goes out? Because y'all kind of work together as one unit, right?
So, yeah, obviously offensive line works as a whole body of movement. And it's obviously hard for anybody when a limb goes down. But as brothers, we don't want to let each other down. So the guys who come in, they pride themselves off on not having so much of a drop off. And so, they're doing everything in their power to, come up to speed and playing their behinds off. And it all starts with perfect effort, and you fix the rest from there.
But given the patchwork you guys have had to deal with, how encouraged are you by the way you guys ran the ball last weekend in Austin?
I'm so excited for them guys, especially guys like Vinley and Frankie. Vinley, he came in here being recruited as a guard, and for him to step out there and tackle and not only play a tackle, but reduce his penalties from the previous week, that was big time for him, and I'm so excited for him for that.
I wanted to ask you about Frankie. He's been kind of thrown into the fire these first three games and done pretty well. From the inside, what can you tell us about, the kind of player Frankie is?
He's just a hard hat dude. He's gonna go in there, go to work. It might not be pretty, but he's gonna find a way to get it done. And he's really been working on his craft lately, him and Coach Maddox, and so I have all faith in him and knowing he's gonna get the job done.
With him or Bethany, do you kind of step up and offer some advice as a more experienced guys, or what's that relationship like?
Well, of course, you got to, me, Mock, and KD, we all have to give our input and, help those guys out who are not as experienced as us. And so, I think playing next to me and playing next to KD gives Vinley and Frankie more confidence to make calls that they need to make, knowing that we'll get them right if they're wrong.
For you playing next to Vinley, what's kind of jumped out about him as a player?
Boy's tough. He's mean. He's nasty. And I appreciate that. And I know he'll protect my side, whether it's on a twist or protect me from penetration. And so he's his toughest critic. When he gets penalties and stuff like that, he's into himself. But he knows I'm there for him to help him get out of that.
Have you seen him improve from week to week? Is there changes from one week to the next?
Of course, I think as O-line as a whole, we've gotten better with each game, and I hope that continues to, progress as we come up against our next opponent.
You mentioned being his own harshest critic. With him and Frankie, do you take anything to try to lift them up or to make sure they're not getting discouraged with some of the challenges?
We just tell them trust their training and revert back to the culture pillars. Everyone makes mistakes, but as long as you're going full speed, giving perfect effort and giving it your all, we can live with that. We can correct that, and next play mentality.
These first three games, what have you learned about your team so far?
We tough. It's a tough squad. And I think we'll be really good. And, we got a few things we need to clean up. But I'm really proud of these guys, not just for, sticking with the tough teams, but just knowing that even when we're down against, Houston or Texas, that nobody blinks. And that's all you guys for. Appreciate that.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks.